Atomics. Donates $5 to Atomics. And they say, how come skeleton armies always look like human skeletons? No other races have viable skeletons. Could you tell an elf skeleton apart from a human one? I need answers. Easily.
Yeah, look at the cursed company.
Easily.
So that's often something like I've always thought would be cool is more fantasy skeletons. But obviously it's a production logistics nightmare. But look, we got dwarf, orc, skaven. There's a high elf, a goblin.
Come on.
It's classic. Open image in new tab.
Yeah, that's how you do this.
Oh god, that's
Perfect.
Resolution.
Just what we wanted.
There we go. So look, goblin, human, elf. The elf skeleton is very similar to the human skeleton. It's only because of his armor that you can really tell.
But I can tell that skeleton is the
Dwarf, the orc, and the scaven.
Super duper cool. Yeah, Curse Company.
Oh, there's a Saurus as well.
Is that on the left-hand side?
It's just not painted.
Oh. Cool boys. But yeah, they often need a bit of theming to help you be able to tell which one's which. But yeah.
There was also a Beastman head on the very old skeleton sprue.
Oh, yeah. And so you could have a Beastman skeleton, but you would have human feet.
Oh, yeah. Because it's just the head. Shit. Would he not be accepted into the Beast tribe?
I don't know. I think he can kind of... If you're a bunch of, like, rampaging mutants... I don't think you can be too, like, hoof elitist when everyone's a bit, like, kind of gangly and has a different look going on. And, like, a couple of people with feet, you're like, you've got to wear shoes.
Nerd.
What a nerd.
Do you think elf skeletons would be, like, shitter because they're, like, hollow or lighter or less dense or whatever?
Or, like, bird bones.
Yeah, because, like, I mean, this is Lord of the Rings, but, you know, Warhammer Old World is very Tolkien-esque. So, like, Legolas can, like, walk on top of the snow, right, when they're, like, marching through the mountain.
Yeah, but, you know, because elves are so fucking Mary Sue, is it like their bones are like carbon fiber? It's really lightweight, but actually it's
just
stronger.
Right, possibly.
Whereas, like, dwarf bones, they're chunkier and way more dense, and so they're a lot heavier. And so that's why they're a lot more sturdy and tougher than other people, because they're following fucking rules that other people should have to follow, whereas elves are just like, magic.
Magic. But maybe when they die, all that magic like drifts away, and when you reanimate them, they're just like paper.
Oh, maybe, yeah. That might be why you just don't get as many undead elves.
Or maybe they're harder to raise because they're magic, and they like resist your magic on them.
I can see that. Like, I think the reason why, especially in the old world, just like humans are just like the best for this stuff.
Well, it makes sense, because in Khemri, it is only humans because it's all of their armies that they embalmed. It's like ancient Egypt terracotta their whole army, and then they're the ones getting raised. It's not they don't raise their enemies up. It's just their own guys. So Tomb Kings will always be 100% human. And the vampire counts, they're all in Sylvania, right, where they're fighting the humans. So most of their armies are humans. So
yeah, for sure.
They're into human graveyards.
And maybe just, you know, they just prefer a human. Like, you know.
Maybe it's different spells. Maybe they've only got the book that tells you how to raise humans.
Okay, and then you've got to get the DLC to do the orcs and stuff, and you're like, nah, I don't fucking want to do that. I don't want to make this happen. Also, just humans more susceptible, easier to do, easier to manage. There's more of them to like trial and error. Like I was reading a thing about chaos versus the Tau.
Oh yeah,
and how whatever. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, Khorne and Commander Farsight, but apparently there's meant to be some kind of like big plot thing going on with Nurgle. Is like doesn't like Tau because they're like no, and they're making stuff and it's against the rules. But apparently they're hard to corrupt. But what it does is like it goes in and all of their like human conclaves, they're having a lot of problems with like Nurgle cults starting there because the actual Tau don't fall, but the humans.
Right.
very susceptible.
Or any of their other races, I guess, that they've conquered.
Well, it said mainly
Not
they're
particularly
aiming
humans.
at the
Okay,
humans
that
because
makes
they're
sense.
they're the ones.
I read a thing about how one time the Tau, they found a Slanesh cult on one of their planets from the humans. And so they sent in a strike team. And they found the leader that was, they were all worshipping this big cult leader. This must be Slanesh. And they went in and they shot the whole inner circle and they executed Slanesh herself. The cult was defeated and Slanesh was dead.
Wow.
And then it wasn't until much, much later that they realized, oh, that was just like a random fucking demigod.
Those were just plebs. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
But they gave themselves a big victory parade for defeating Slanesh.
Wow. Oh, that feels bad.
You poor, sweet summer children.
Having to give back your medals after that one. Oof. Apparently the cult leader was also called Slanesh. Okay.
God, that must have been a real shit orgy. And suddenly the Tau Breacher teams kick down the doors.
Or, who knows, maybe that's one of those people's kink.
Maybe that's what they're into.
And they're like, oh my God, this is exactly what I asked for.
I didn't know I was into this, but now I am.
Yeah, when I put my desires into the suggestion box and you guys laughed at me.
Yeah. I just wanted to get photon flash grenaded.
Yeah. And then Croot Hounds bite my ass. Yeah. Okay. I think that kind of works. And Hegbert. I think it's $5. Thank you, Hegbert. They say, hello, Tom and Ben.
Hello.
I'm in dental school, and I have my first day of practicing drilling on fake teeth this Friday.
Ooh.
I'm hoping all my time painting minis, listening to you talk about Kremlo will pay off. Praise the space frog.
Yeah, I reckon building minis is probably like vaguely skill adjacent.
Yeah, to drilling teeth, pin vice.
Yeah, you got to have steady hands. You got to be precise. Way less forgiving of mistakes. You can't just green stuff over a gap in the tooth.
Yeah, you can't just fix it all with a dry brush and a wash. A little bit harder.
Do they let you just super glue them back in?
Yeah, you could do that. They've got all kinds of fancy tech these days. Just epoxies and resins. And, I don't know, some kind of shit.
It'll be fun. Well, good luck with your drilling.
Yeah.
My 3 big loves in Warhammer are Lizardmen, Skaven, and Khemri. They're like my top 3 fantasy armies. 2 of them aren't being supported. And
whoa, Ben! What the hell?
That was completely unintentional.
What the hell?
2 of them aren't being supported.
2 of them aren't being fucking supported.
And the one that is being supported.
Please, I'm not James Workshop.